Friends and family. Friends and family. There we go. Yes. We are live on a beautiful, beautiful Friday. Beautiful Friday evening for myself. We're getting close to the weekend. I hope you are enjoying the process so far. It has been an incredible week. It's time for episode number 28 of the live day trading stream, hosted by the man himself. We're going to talk about gold today, geez. Let's make it happen here. Let's see what we have with us in the building. I hope you have a fantastic day so far. If not, and you just start out your day and you are working right now and you're off in the weekends, then congratulations. We're almost there, my friends. We're almost there. Let's make it happen. Let's turn this stream into an amazing stream. And let's see if the chat actually works. Give me one moment here. And then we'll put on some, some nice banger for you guys here. Gold is holding up well, ladies and gentlemen. Gold is holding up relatively well. But I do see a pullback potentially coming here. Let's see. Why is the chat not working? Let me figure that out. Full screen. Let's see. Okay, no chat. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Okay. Well, no chat for today, but I can see you guys in the chat here. All right, let's do a quick shout out to G10 Dre, Boris Zoo. We're almost in the weekend, but that's really good for us traders. Yes, I mean, it's true. It is true. It is true. It is true. But anyways, we need a break sometimes. We need a little break sometimes to get our mind straight and to get back to work on a Monday morning here. Joey, good to see you, man. Slavis. Axel, as always, my friend, thank you for coming along. Damien, Ajay, Lucifer. What's happening, brother? What's happening? What's happening? All right, Bison. Great. Do you know what to do is today? We are gonna look into the pullback on gold here. Can we make a little bit of a pullback today, and then we potentially look here at everything here. I won the funded account yesterday. Already set my YouTube URL on Instagram. Perfect. I will check it out after the stream here. I promise you to get back to you today here, so that's perfect. All right, let's get the party started, my friends. And I wish you a fantastic session. And let's communicate clearly in the chat of what we're looking at, and we go from there. Let's go. Back on deck. Yes, sir. Back on deck. 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 All right. I hope that warmed you up a little bit here. We're gonna end the week with an even more banger. I have a couple of tunes on the waiting list for you guys. Yeah, on a Friday, of course. You know what that means. So we have to end it strong. Anyways, let's talk about what we are seeing right now at the moment here. If you like this stream, then please smash up that like button. You know, it helps me tremendously. We reached the 120K. We did our giveaway yesterday. 2 FundedNext challenges. They reached out to me already. We're gonna give them today. Looking forward to that as well here. And yeah, man, everything is going exactly how it is or how it was planned to go here. So very happy with you guys here. Let's make it happen. Let's get to work and let's talk about the markets right now. Of course, we have our goldie, we have our dollar, we have our oil, right? We are currently seeing that we're ranging on both sides of the tail right here. Gold is at the top of the range right now of today. Pretty much today, right? Today's range has been just overall relatively, yeah, clean, I must say, right? Oil relatively similar. We see the dollar a little bit on the weaker side at this current moment right now, right? Which you can see is relatively good for gold as well. We are starting to break out here. We have a range on gold right now. We have a couple of levels. Yeah, that we have to talk about in a second here, right? On the higher time frame as well. Let's talk about the higher time frame first. You can clearly see, right? Clearly see. Oh, there we go. Clearly see that we are actually reacting from that support right now, right? We have that 4-hour demand zone right here. We are still in that 4-hour demand zone. We talked about this already right there on the daily. You can kind of see that we're kind of holding this support right now. You see that the candle as well is flipping a little bit bullish at the moment, okay? And we took out yesterday's lows. So we did take out the previous daily lows, as you guys can see, right around there, right? So the previous daily lows are actually indeed already taken out. We are now seeing a little bit of a reversal coming to fruition. The trend has still not broken. We're still trending upwards slowly and steadily, I must say here. So at this current moment, you can definitely see here right now that we're in that support. We're bouncing from that higher time frame support right now. Okay, let's take this to the 4-hour because we are not fully there yet. We have that support around there. We have that demand zone that we talk about as well here all the time right there. But we do have some resistance right around here as well. Okay, so I don't really want to buy there. If I want to look for longs, okay, I prefer to look for the pullback again, a little bit deeper maybe, and then look for a potential reaction. And I think that it definitely could be that we actually still pull back, guys, in my opinion, right now, right here. We're going to face a lot of resistance around this area. And I'm going to show you that on the footprint chart in a second, so you understand what actually has happened from that perspective right now. But this is where we took out the previous daily lows right around here. We took that out, okay? Then we created a higher high, pretty much a higher low, and now we broke structure again right there, okay? But we're in resistance right now, so I don't really want to trade the follow through in that 4-hour supply or that resistance here. I still prefer, if you want to buy back lower, right? Somewhere around there. You could actually say, let me just clarify this one more time. You know, somewhere around there, you know, I want to look for the pullback. Keep it very simple and see if you could see some support and then see if we can find a potential follow through right now at the moment. Is there a chance that we could actually look for that continuation? All right, let's take this for consideration right now. Understand that we are in higher time frame support and we are reacting from this after taking out the previous daily lows. So that's right here. Very important zone right now at the moment, right? So let's take this information before we go to the lower time frame to the order flow right around here, okay? Let's actually see what's happening right now on the order flow, what is happening in terms of buyers versus the sellers. What is going on from that perspective, okay? Let's start off with the daily time frame. The daily is actually, yeah, still in the middle of nowhere, to be honest with you guys. It's still in that support. It's bouncing off of this area here. This is that support that we were talking about right now. And, you know, we have that major resistance sitting up there that we haven't been able to break out of. Right here, you can see this right here. It's pretty much right there. That's that major resistance, right? At 65 that we couldn't really break multiple times in a row here. Every time when we got there, we got rejected, and you know, we know that that's also major resistance here. So preferably pullback for potential long. That's what I'm looking at right now at the moment here. Now, going back to the footprint chart, okay, let's talk about it right here. On the 4 hour, we do have a lot of sellers that tried to short here. In the previous 8 hours. There was a lot more shorting happening, okay? But as you can see right now, the candle closed green. The candle closed bullish. So in the last 4 hour candle right here, there were more shorters right there. Then, let me actually show you right one more time so you can actually see the delta here. 261, right? That means there were more shorters active than longers right there, but the candle closed green. So we traded and closed above that, and this is why we're finding that support right here at this current moment right now. So it doesn't look weak to me at the moment, gold, okay? A lot of sellers trying to short it, they failed, they're now stuck in their trade because gold is pushing higher, okay? On the 1 hour though, this is what I mean with that resistance right now. That's sitting up right here. A lot of sellers stepped in, we pulled back, we couldn't break above this. You couldn't see that we actually, you know, we tried to break back above that, but we couldn't close above that. And if you look at where we are right now, keep that red box in mind, right? Then we are there, and you can see that immediately when we tapped into the zone right now, that again, sellers stepped into the market here. So from a higher time frame perspective, I would say, hey, we're looking quite strong. We're actually bullish. We're holding up quite well. We're in a range, right? But on the kind of the 1 hour, you can already see what kind of resistance we are, you know, currently forming and what level we really have to break for a breakout, right? A nice clean follow through on gold right here, okay? So this is very important right now that we paid patiently for the pullback, because look at the amount of buyers that stepped in here. 168 contracts on the 15-minute right there in a single candle with a lot of sellers as well. This could cause some resistance right now, right around here, okay? The good part is that the dollar is relatively weak at the moment. Oil is relatively weak at the moment, okay? The 10-year yield has been coming down from that resistance right there. Look at the 10-year yield. We are in that resistance right there, okay? So I'm actually not really interested in shorting gold right now, because every other instrument right now that we look at is actually in resistance right now, or is dropping, or is slowing down at this current moment right here. So I prefer to wait for a pullback into one of our levels, okay? And we're going to look at our levels through the order flow, but also in our volume profile right here, okay? At this current moment, okay? A good question. Then why it went up if there are more sellers than buyers? That's a good question. That's a very good question, actually. The 4 hour is showing you a lot more red, a negative delta, more sellers active, market, aggressive market sellers, okay? But it could be that any market order that can get absorbed, in order to execute a contract, okay, on futures, gold futures, you need to have an opposite buyer. For a market seller, you need a limit buyer, okay? It could be the absorption of limit buyers was stronger than the amount of sellers that took place here, okay? This is what I'm trying to say here. So you can see that there are more people that pressed market sell in this candle, absorbed by limit buyers, which allowed the market to be absorbed. So every time someone pressed market, a buyer came in to absorb it, right? And price couldn't drop below, okay? And then at the end, market buyers took over and they could control right there. So that's why the sellers now that aggressively entered short are now trapped in their trade right there at this current moment right here, okay? So that means for me that if we pull back, that we will tap into those sellers, and that usually causes a reaction, and it could cause a bounce, or that gives us a level of interest, and it could turn into that support. I hope that makes sense so far. All right, so that's the daily time frame. Back to the 4 hour, now at the 15-minute and the 5-minute time frame here. What I like to do now is I like to mark out the whole range. All right, and the way we do that is we will look at the following. We will use the fixed range volume profile right here. You can mark it out from the left to the right, and we're going to track all the volume until the breakout. And then we see a couple of levels here. We have the 4820, we have the 4813 on futures, and we have the 4805. All right, these are 3 levels of interest I will be looking at automatically by default, because we know that volume is king. Volume is very important. We know, okay, where is the most volume? Where is the most interest? The higher the chances that we could potentially bounce from it. So this is what I like to use in my strategy, a combination of this with the higher time frame, the correlations, the valuation, and then of course the order flow for the actual confirmation once we are actually at our level, so we can confirm if we are in the right trade or not, and if we can manage the trade accordingly. Okay, this is what we have been doing over the last couple of weeks. The results were very well. All right, yesterday was a great example again. After a good start of the week, we had a great win, then we had a no trading, then we had a loss, I think, then we had another win yesterday. So we have to go close the week strong. This is the motto of today here. So overall, I don't see a reason to short it. I will wait for a pullback and see if it can pull back into a key level right here. Hopefully somewhere there, okay? If not, back down. Because it is Friday, and you know what happens when New York opens very bullish before the open? I've seen a lot of times that the open is bullish on a Friday, and then we see a massive smack down for the actual move later on. So definitely worth to wait for the right pullback in my opinion. And, you know, yesterday we were in position right at the beginning of the stream. Right now, we're kind of overvalued here. We are bullish bias, so I do want to wait a little bit for that exact pullback right there. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see if we can pull back. If the dollar finds some support or something right here, we're not that far away, by the way. So let's see what the dollar does once we reach this level right now. And then, yeah, we can actually kind of go from there, I think. But this is strong, right? No reason to short it. Looking pretty healthy so far. But, yeah. If you're asking this, let me see. Bro, I'm a scalper. Can you tell me what I should do now? Oh, we're clearly pushing higher, right? Look at that. We're diving deeper into our zone. At this current moment, we are reacting from this area. Wow, this was actually very, very hard. Very strong push for gold here. Dollar dropping. Where go? Look at the dollar. Wow, dollar is actually dropping really hard. Oil as well. This has to be bullish for the metal sector. Wow, look at that. Straight up. Straight up. What time was this actually? Right around there. Wow, okay. Look at that reaction. Ayub says, I'm bearish. All right. How can I learn about the volume profile? You can get into my book, my man. I've written a whole book for you to explain this. This is the exact model that we're using here. This is exactly what we traded yesterday. Okay? Yeah, this is exactly what we saw yesterday here. So this time it is more or less a consolidation here, an expansion, a retracement, and then, you know, what I'm looking for is a continuation pretty much. So we call that a CERC play, right? This is the CERC, the consolidation, the expansion, the retracement, and then the continuation. So this is the consolidation. We have now seen the expansion. Okay, a really good breakout as well, good reaction. Now I want to see a pullback into the range and then see if we can hold the range. Instead of it being a manipulation, actually just looking at the continuation of it. Yesterday it was more or less the manipulation, right? We were ranging, we manipulated down, we broke out, we retested it, and then we took a long yesterday. That is called the CME. This is more what we call the C, the E, the R, right? And then the C. This is the consolidation, retrace, continuation. It's all about the context, right? It's all about the context around the setup that I'm looking for personally. And yeah, we have been trading this, I think, so long now. So yeah, let's see what happens. I have not received the book. Yeah, I think then you need to use a different email. You need to check your spam folder. But the book definitely gets sent out. Okay, it definitely gets sent out right here. This current moment. Let's see. Let's mark out the range on gold spot 2 right now. And yeah, we have the 4798. Okay, that is the value high right here, the 4798. And we have the 4792. 4798 and 4792. Let's see if we come back, because we have been overvalued for a while already. This looks very, very strong now. But let's see what happens. If you look at the previous times, we saw definitely a lot of rejections here. This as well. We pull back a little bit here as well. We pull back a little bit here as well. We pull back a little bit. right here as well. You could see that we pulled back for an hour, and then here as well, right? So it might squeeze up, but eventually, you know, we will see some sort of pullback. And it's not the right moment for me to buy right now, right? When I see that, and I know in the last, you know, 30, 40 times that we saw that, we see at least a range, or we see some sort of pullback. Now I prefer to pull back and see if it can actually pull back to the right level, and then you know, we can manage the trade really well. All right. Yesterday was a good example of that. Okay. Yesterday was a good example, and the reason why it was a good example was because yeah, we pretty much entered at the bottom of that candle, and then yeah, we saw that, right? We saw that reaction right here on Goldie immediately. That was a strong reaction. But then after that, when we closed the trade, actually, you saw what happened after that, guys, by the way. You saw what happened after that? That huge dump after we closed the trade? I think that was right here, right? When was that? Was it here? Was it there? Yeah, that was... no, it was not there. Where was this? Wait, 15 minutes? It was right here? No, I'm not... Yeah, right there. Right there. Look at that huge dump after that. Look at that huge drop. You know, we could see that we just couldn't break above a level that we wanted it to break out of, right? And we said, okay, if it doesn't want to go, we close the trade. We're not greedy. And we know when to close trades. We know when to close trades. Look at that huge drop right there. That would have been nasty if we held onto the trade there. Definitely. Timber says, breaking, the US considers $20 billion cash for uranium deal with Iran. Okay, well, is that for real? Is that for real? Let me confirm that. I trust you, my friend Timbo. Let me actually see if it popped up here as well. Yeah, of course. Of course it did. Right at the New York Open. Right when our baby opens up here, huh? Beautiful. Some red folder, some red economic geopolitical news again. The US considers $20 billion cash for uranium deal with Iran. The US and Iran are negotiating over a 3-page plan to end the war, with one element under discussion being that the US would release $20 billion in frozen Iranian funds in return for Iran giving up its stockpile of enriched uranium, according to 2 US officials and 2 additional sources briefed on the talks. Yeah, if that's the case, and you know, you can definitely see there are more positive talks now around a ceasefire, okay, or potentially, quote unquote, a plan to end the war. Yeah, and this is where the metal sector is responding very bullish to by default right here. Okay, very bullish to by default, right around there. So yeah, I definitely see this being being the case right now. I definitely see this happening. All right, absolutely. Still, it says just past the 200K phase 1 using the value area high breakout, using what you use every day on the live stream. Thanks for that, showing us so much value. Silas, my friend. Nice talking to you, brother. And amazing to hear that. And this is just the beginning. This is just the start. So congratulations, man. Very nice. Very nice. Very good news. Very good. Very good. Very, 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 very good. Okay, my levels marked out. So, yeah, 4821, number 1. 4811, number 2. And let's see if we can respect and hold these levels, any one of those levels here. Let's pull back a little bit and let's go from there. In terms of the order flow, what kind of levels do we have here? Yeah, the 11. We have the 21. Where is the 21? It's actually 18. Wait, let me confirm this right now. 60. That's pretty strong here. 4 hour, yeah, that's around the 20. Yeah, I think we're pretty good there, to be honest. If you pull back. Let's see what happens. I will go to the 5-minute time frame once we're there. And then see what the dollar is doing. The dollar is breaking down right now, so that's kind of clear. Dollar is breaking down quite aggressively as well, by the way. quite aggressively here. Look at that. Wow. Massive buyer. Sellers came in trying to short it. Failed. Held support. 25. I see also some support at the 25, by the way. And the 21. Yeah. Okay. And let's see how we can pull back and what level needs to be tapped into here. And let's see if we can pull back. That would be nice. If you can get to an area like this, that would be good. That would be good. Gold, Friday, New York breakout. Looking too long on retest. CERC pattern. Cool. Yeah, massive drop for the dollar here on a Friday. Look at oil as well. It gapped open yesterday, or today actually. And it just tanked and it's breaking through. And this is actually super important. It's breaking through that first demand zone, or it actually has broken it right now. So yeah, oil is slowing down for sure. Okay, higher time frame, Goldie, daily, supported. So that's the main thing that we're looking for right now, right? We're seeing clearly that we're holding in that support right now. It is a major level. It is a major level. We can definitely see this right here. Aligning with that 4-hour demand zone. And yeah, major level right here for gold right there. So we have to pay attention to this when we pull back. I'm very cautious with shorting here because of that reason. We have some really positive news now for gold. And we're dealing with we're dealing with a new session right now again, right? Trump, Iran, uranium deal. We're in that daily support. The dollar is breaking down. It's not looking strong at the moment, but yeah, we'll keep a close eye on this. Yes. Let's see what we can do. What a push. What a push. 4-hour looks strong. Daily is coming back up. The 50-minute keeps going. Yeah, we have the 30. That's also an aggressive entry right there, the 30. But we need to cool down a little bit. We need to slow down a bit. We're pretty stacked here. And I think we will slow down in a second. So we'll keep a close eye on it right now. One of our levels right there. Yeah, this is the one right there. Right there. Yeah, right there. And then we have these two levels right there as well. This is on the 5 minutes, or 50 minutes, sorry. We definitely have a small level right there to work with. Let's see. Very strong for now. But I like it. I like that gold is pushing here today with some volume on a Friday. Obviously more news related. Tell me about the trades of the week. Yeah, so we didn't trade it a lot and not as much as last week. We did trade it. We had 3 trades, right? So every stream except Tuesday. Yeah. Gregory says, I don't think this can retrace back. Yeah, I always think that too when I see the charts. And then what happens? Boom, baby. Boom. A massive pullback, all right? That's the moment when people say it's not going to pull back, that's the moment it's going to pull back. That's the moment. Dun, dun, dun. Looking for a moderator, my friends. is looking for a moderator. I'm looking for one more moderator in the chat. We have our G Thomas and John. John is also an absolute legend in the chat. I love his feedback on things. I really like it. We're on the same page. We're on the same page. We have Axel. He's always there. He's always there. He's always in the chat, my friend. Cross the Axel Road. You're always here every day, every stream. I also see Chris Invest, you too. Fi's in here. Jessica. Cross the Axel. Where are you, my friend? There we go. Add moderator. Nice. Nice. Perfect, Axel. I see you every day, man. So, you know, we need one more extra moderator here today. Okay. So yesterday we gave away 2 FundedNext challenges. I'm gonna give them to them after this stream. I already contacted them right now, so perfect. Next giveaway will be soon. I love that. It's a great way to give back. I mean, just, you know, the reason why I'm saying this is your time has value. Okay, your time has value. And that means that if you're watching me, you're here for the reason. You're here to learn about, you know, gold, trading, whatever, right? You're here to have a good time. You're here to enjoy it. Maybe you're listening on work right now. So I appreciate and value and respect your time, okay? I hope you understand that. I really do. I really think it's important. It's the most important asset you possess. It is your time. And this is why we're doing what we're doing here, because we want to enjoy our time more, or even more than we do right now. So that's why we're here. We're here to get better. We're here to learn. So my suggestion for the streams is, right, objectively, is to always try to just get the most out of it, okay? We're always here to learn something regardless of any outcome of the stream, of the trades as well here. The right people are here for the right reasons. And that is to just develop themselves, to learn and to build a great connection with other members, other people in the chat. And hopefully improve their lives a little bit. So yeah. Giveaways are part of the stream. Now and then as well here. We reached our 120K and you know, it's Friday. We're in a good mood. Who knows what we're gonna do? How many trades have you taken the whole week? Ooh. Well, is that included Asia and London or excluded Asia and London? Because I do trade Asia as well. Very strong, G's. Wow. Good day, sir. I salute you. Can you play La Castle? Vania. Okay, I will listen to it myself first, and then we'll make a decision. You know why? Someone sent me a video before. That was a year and a half ago. I played that video. Hide your kids' ears, because I'm gonna say something. I played that video. It was the most disgusting porn video I've ever seen, live on my channel, live on my stream. So I played it in front of 3,000 people, concurrent viewers, at that moment. The nastiest video you ever seen in your life. Guess what I had to do? I had to close the stream, delete the stream immediately. I thought my channel was gonna get deleted. I'm not joking, okay? So after I got traumatized, I realized that I need to make sure that I check everything beforehand, before I just randomly play it live on the streams, all right? What a good times. Those were good times, good times. Woo, good times. That was nasty. Okay, Goldie. I love sellers. The price refuses to pull back now at the moment, okay? So this hourly candle is going to be super key because this allows us to actually be a bit more aggressive and look for a potential level right here. Okay, I'm right now marking out the current swing. Okay, so the 5-minute expansion here. This is the swing profile right there. So we utilize the fixed range volume profile. I take it from the bottom right there, okay, to the top of the range right here. Okay, so from the bottom to the top, you can see this right there, bottom to the top, and it gives me a level right here in between. That's the 4827, which is actually a zone right here. So if this hourly candle closes bullish, this is a bit low, all right, the 21 and the 14. The 27 is another level, which I then will be looking at right there, okay? In case we pull back to that level, I will be watching it very, very closely to see if we can pull back into it. And this is what we call the swing profile right here, the swing volume profile, okay? Which is more of a momentum-based approach. And this is what I like so much about the strategy and the system, is that it's very adaptable, right, to the market conditions. So if we're seeing a breakout right now, right, and we start trending up, for example, like this, we utilize different ways of using the volume profile, you know, in a different way, right? And this is one example, okay? The swing volume profile, which is a momentum-based approach, right here, okay? And we mark out the swing low to the swing high, we pull back into a level, and then we look for a reaction from it, okay? And that will confirm if we enter a long, right? Depending on how we react there, and then we'll go from there. So that is what we call the swing point of control, right there. It's on page number 54 of your book, right? Page number 54 of your book. You can read this and go through this. Actually, it's 50. I think it's like page number 50, by the way. Okay, so we have marked out another level in between this right now. Right here. It's actually one of my favorites on gold, by the way. If we aggressively expand and pull back, it's one of my favorites. It truly is. But this move right here is news related, right? It's purely news related here. As you can see, it's a monster move right now on gold. An absolute monster move. Book, no emo. Is no one receiving an emo right now? Let me check this. Let me confirm this. All right, let me check this right now. Let's see if people came in right now. 1 second. Give me one moment to check if it actually is my issue here. We're gonna work on it. Right? If you don't receive an email after you know, for your free book, I'm gonna check it. Maybe it is an issue here. We're figuring it out right now. Okay. Yeah, we're figuring it out right now. All right. But yeah, we are indeed approaching right now the where are we here? The previous daily highs as well. Right here, the previous daily highs are sitting right there. It's a very, very strong push, man. It's all news related, this push here. So when the stream started, we already were pumping really hard. Okay, previous daily highs are taken out right now. Wow, look at that, man. Look at that. Where are we going? Let me keep this up. Point of control is still there. 27. What else do we have? Right here. Wow, this order flow never lies, man. Never lies. Look at it on the 4 hour. Closed above it, pulled into it, and it just skyrocketed right there. Yeah, all news related. Wow. A lot of buyers now here. Or sorry, a lot of maybe buy stops were activated. That's also a possibility, right? That people put their stop losses, for sure. People are putting their stop losses right there. Okay. Look at that, right? The moment the previous daily highs were taken out, a lot of buy stops were getting triggered. Look at that. 237, 220, 220, 264, right? These don't necessarily have to be market orders. These don't necessarily have to be market orders, like market buys. These easily could be buy stops. If people sell short, they're putting buy stops right there. But look at that. Look at the dollar. Look at oil. Wow. Do we have more news coming out right now? What's going on here, guys? What is happening here? Yes, more news, baby. Let's go. It's all news today. It's a bunch of news on a beautiful Friday. What other day could it be than Friday? Of course, when the market closes, right? Iran's foreign minister, passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared and completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. Iraqi X, in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz are declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. So again, it's bullish after bullish after bullish news for the metal sector, bearish after bearish after bearish news for the dollar and for oil right there. Okay? Strait of Hormuz open, more supply, more oil. Okay? Strait of Hormuz closed, less supply, less oil, higher pricing, right? So this is good for the metal sector. This is why we always talk when oil dumps, it's very good for the metal sector. It's good for things like, yeah, Bitcoin, for example, right now, probably. Yeah, look at that. Bitcoin is pumping hard as well. Euro is going to push up hard because the euro is negatively correlated with the dollar. So if the dollar drops in value, it's good for the euro. It's all connected with each other. This is also going to be good for the stock market as well. Yeah. How do you trade that, right? How do you trade that from the beginning? How do you trade that news? The only way to trade that in this case is just to FOMO in. That's it. That's it. It's just to FOMO in and hope for the best. Yeah. You know what I mean? Press buy and forget. That's it. I mean, that's the way, if you like, you know, and I'm saying this in more satire way, an ironic way, because it's kind of like, you know, it is the way, right? But is that really how I like to trade right now? Just FOMOing into a trade because of news? I'm not really sure. Not really sure about that. So let's see what happens here. Look at that. Look at that volume as well, though. What a volume. 5.8k contracts in 15 minutes, or sorry, in 11 minutes so far. It's an insane amount of volume. An insane amount of volume here. 12,000 contracts in 1 hour, or in like, what, 55 minutes. We haven't seen that 12k number since Thursday here. We're going to beat this for sure. We're going to beat this in the next minutes. Yeah. Wow. Wowdy, wowdy, wowdy. Yeah. Now, it's cool to witness this in person as well. In real, you know, it's cool to witness this. But at the same time, in terms of trading, unless I FOMO in, there is no clear structure. There is no clear, you know, confirmation for anything. It's just news after news. That's it. Anyways, we had to wait until Friday for this to happen, right? We had to wait until Friday for this to happen here. Wow. Yeah, well, closures is where it's at, though. Closures is where it's at. Look at the dollar dumping hard. Oil. Oil is dumping ridiculously hard, by the way. Look at the top of oil here. Look at the daily candle today. This is a opening gap as well. So we opened at 93. No, actually we opened at 89, but we closed at 93. So we have that gap here. And that's an 11% dump on oil here. Okay, so far. An 11% dump on oil. What you can see on gold right now is that we are definitely in that resistance. You know, you can definitely see how strong buyers are still right now. Look at that. Look at that major reaction here. Look at it. Like, when for the last time, guys, have you seen bubbles like that on our chart with us on the streams here? I don't think we have ever seen this so far in our 28 episodes, right? These amount of bubbles right here on the 5 minute. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen that yet. Wow. Bubble after bubble after bubble. 237 contracts by market and in a single order. 220, 264. Right? These bubbles represent single executions. So one entity, it could be a corporation, it could be a retail trader. One entity that executed 237 contracts, 220 contracts, 264 contracts, right, in a single execution. Wow. Wow. Look at gold here. Okay, let's keep marking out. This is important though. Keep marking out the swing profile right now. See if you can see any changes in our very high, for example, the 60 already. I mean, all our levels are right now right there. It's like, it's ridiculous. It is crazy. Wow. Are these contracts on the order flow CFDs? No, not CFDs. This is futures, but of course it impacts CFDs too, right? It impacts the whole market, including gold spot. It's the same. It's all correlated to. Like, the only difference between the CFDs and futures is that the CFDs are decentralized. Okay, but it still stems from the futures chart and the futures price from a centralized organization, right? This is what they do, right? The brokers, they, for example, they have a CFD, right? They can control price, they can manipulate the spreads, they can change whatever they want to change within their own system, while they are hedging themselves, right, on futures against your position. Oh, wow. Yeah, the only thing that I can say is we need to cool off a bit. That's it. We need to cool off a little bit here. This is a one straight FOMO move. It's all built around the news right here, right? It is all built around the news right now at the moment here. So what we're looking for right now, I'm going to go through the news one more time in a second here. Okay. And see if we have any updates. Because, yeah, if we have any updates, then we'll know. But even the most bullish news, at some point we have to make somewhat of a reaction, and then we see, from there. Where's that song here that I was looking at? Oh, here. Exactly. Which side are you getting the news from? I would simply just go to TopStep right here. This is what I do personally. This is why I have a TopStep account. I'm actually trading on it again, finally, as a side piece. Looking at TopStep. So you can go here to the Traders Hub if you have an account here. Otherwise, I think you have Traders Hub. I think they come together. And do we have more news? Are we serious right now? Yeah, more news. More news, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for the third news of the stream? You ready for it? Unbelievable. Can you not do this right around 7, an hour before the New York Open? Why does it have to be now? It's the third one. Can't believe that. Okay. First major news was $20 billion cash uranium deal with Iran. The US and Iran are negotiating over a plan to end the war. That's bullish for gold, bearish for oil, bearish for the dollar. Then we had Iran's foreign minister, passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. And guess what we got right now, guys? Again, the Federal Reserve the Fed swaps see a dovish shift. Price 15 basis point rate cuts by December. So they're going to potentially lower interest rates by December. That's the speculation, right? Again, bearish for the dollar. Unbelievable. How this stacks up. How nasty would it be? How nasty would it be if this is just all a push to just get everyone long and then just sweep the whole market completely to the other side here? I've seen it before. I would not be surprised. I'm going to be really honest here. I would not be surprised if something like that would happen. And we could be part of that journey. But nonetheless, I'm willing to try. Anyways. But it's so much news, man. Wow. This session. Unbelievable. TopStep using financial juice. Okay, yeah. Then it's called financial juice. Yes. Okay. Wow. Yeah, financial juice is actually very good. Like if that's what they're using with TopStep, then it's amazing because you get these things instantly, right? It pops up, boom, as red. You know it's going to be important. And if you don't know what it means, you go to this, you copy this, you put it in ChatGPT, you say, is this potentially bullish or bearish for X or Y? And why is it potentially bullish or bearish? And you get your answer. It is pretty straightforward, even with little to no experience. Okay. We have to be a bit sharp here. We have the 45 at 50 minutes. Then we have, which I think is still a little bit aggressive. And then we have the 30. Yeah, that's what I like. I like the 30. Okay. I like the 30. I think that the 30 is a good level. You know, this is a candle where so many executed orders were taking place here. If they take out the lows of that candle, then I'm willing to say, okay, I will give it a try, right? So I still think that the 30 is still the right level in case we get there, but man, it's bullish. The 21, the 30, actually the 30 is right there. Yeah, I'm gonna at least set a limit order. And then I'm gonna set, I'm just gonna do it already in case we get there, you know what I mean? I don't know, we're gonna get there though. Based on the news, it's bullish after bullish after bullish news here. And we have the 45 as well, which is right there. Yeah, well, at least it's set, so let's see. You never know, right? It's gonna be the New York Stock Exchange open as well in around 30 minutes, 27 minutes. So we might see some reversal in between that. That's what I believe. If you could come down before the New York Stock Exchange open, that would be gorgeous. That would be really amazing here. That would be gorgeous. Yeah, pretty much like that. Let's see. I wonder what happens when the US market opens. Exactly. That's exactly it, man. I agree with you. Let me screenshot this for you. Oh man, look at the dollar. Wow. Look at the dollar. The playlist, yes. You guys are ready for the playlist? You guys want me to drop the playlist very soon on Spotify? Now it's on another platform. Let me know. If so, Monday. I will share it with you guys. Monday, all right? I have the weekend to make it happen. I have enough tracks right now ready. I've been working on this for a while. 126 tracks. Pure gold. Pure gold. Love it. Yeah. What's going on with the dollar index? Here we go, my friend. The news. Yeah, we're gonna have a huge support as well at the 45 already, which is actually the retest. But if it then swipes through it, that's what I hope, man. I hope that we can come back. We swipe through this low and we close above that. But it looks so strong. It looks so strong. Add blood code to it. Okay, I will take that in consideration, my man. Braben, my G. Wow. Okay, we're seeing a bit more sellers right now coming into the market again. It's been a while. A lot of green, 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 green. We're starting to see some red coming in here. Look at the volume, right? Wow, consistent as well. Doesn't stop. It's just so consistent. Man, sellers again. Stuck in their trade right now. Absolutely stuck. This is why, man, trying to sell the top, trying to predict the top here is so tricky. So tricky. Thinking, I got the top here right now. I'm going to aim for the top right now. It's so tricky. Trying to sell it. Because number one, you have all that selling there. Price just gets absorbed like it's nothing, right? Then you have all these buyers sitting there below, protecting their level. It's just, even if you're right, you're gonna have that support after support. Look at oil one more time. Yeah, look at that. This is absolutely, wow. Where's the open? I think we're down 13%, right? Yeah, 12.5% right now. %. Huge. What about gold? Yeah, we're looking at gold the whole day, the whole stream. All right. Right here, it's pushing hard. Lorenzo, see, another news came in. What are we talking about here? 800 pips. No, not more news, right? Woo! News after news after news after news. Good news though. Wow. Trump on Truth Social. Iran has just announced that the Strait of Iran is fully open and ready for full passage. Iran has just announced that the Strait of Iran is fully open and ready for full passage. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is why. Oh my God. Imagine trying to predict the top here. You get absolutely crushed. Absolutely crushed. Okay? Absolutely destroyed here. Going against the triple, quadruple news right now. From all angles, by the way. Federal Reserve, boom. Iran, this. Lebanon, this. All suddenly solved. It's boom. Everything's gone. Everything is solved. Look at how the dollar reacts to that. Look at how oil is reacting to that. How do you trade that? How do you trade that? How do you trade that without FOMOing in here? Wow. Little retest there. Yes, true. But again, man. Wow. I mean, it's good. You know, in the long term, this is fantastic. This is good news, by the way. Keep in mind, this is positive, right? For the world. This is good for the world. We do have to take that in consideration here. Okay, it's good for the world right now. The fact that this is open here, it allows, though, the dollar to come down here. Okay, look at that. And hard as well. Okay. Hard. It allows oil to relax after that major push here. And just think about it from this perspective, right? All the institutional traders, the aggressive institutional traders that have been, you know, trying to get into oil, right? Thinking, oh, oil is just going to go to 150 because that's the word. Everyone's talking about the magic number, right? The $150 a barrel. Everyone was talking about it. Am I correct or am I correct? Okay. Guess what they're going to do? They're all longing oil. And boom. We're just like, it's like, they do it every time, man. Every time. They did it with gold a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, when it was all about, right? It was all about, oh, China is buying gold. The devaluation of the dollar. China is buying gold right now. The war is coming. Iran, China buying. There is a lack of supply. Everyone is buying gold at the top. major crash. Same thing for oil. Same thing for oil. They do it over and over again, and they manage to just freaking put it off every single time. How insane is that, right? Look at that. Wow. But what does this mean though, right? What does this mean for gold right now in the first place? Well, number one, it totally depends where we close this weekly candle. Because this is by default a very, very strong breakout, right? If you can see and confirm right now that support held, then what is the next level? Where can we go to? Okay. Well, let's look at the order flow right here. Let's go to the daily and let's quickly zoom out right now because it's super important. If we can close, and this is where the order flow really, really thrives, by the way. People use this on the lower time frame. You can easily utilize this on the higher time frame as well here. Okay. Right there, and right there. Okay. We have been stuck under that resistance for, I would say, since the beginning of April. Around 11 days ago. We broke below it in March 18th. We came back in April, and we couldn't break that level. If we manage this time to close the daily candle above, okay, the 4889. So let's say the 4875 on spot. If we can close above that, the chances of us going back to the 5,000, to be honest, to me, seems inevitable. Okay? Seems inevitable. If we see that closure above this high right here, okay, after being so long, so much resistance for so long here, we close above it with this huge gap in between there. I think that filled towards right here, okay, the 5,000, that next zone that we have marked out right there, seems to me kind of inevitable. Okay, so for me, trading long, going long, and really taking next week very, very serious, and be a little bit more, potentially more aggressive on gold as well, on the pullback for longs, and holding my trades longer, not just scalping my trades like we have been doing this week inside of the ranges, because we had to. We had no choice. I had no choice, right? We were just pretty much trading the ranges. But if we manage to break out and we create that momentum again, then trading towards the 5,000 seems to me a very, very reasonable move right there. Okay, so that's not that far away, because it's pretty much back towards that daily supply right here. Okay, that daily supply zone right around there. Okay, which is totally reasonable right now, right? The fact that we could trade towards that right around here already is something that we could definitely see happening. I would not be surprised if you do. Unless, right, we see the open of the New York Stock Exchange right now in around 15 minutes. And yeah, we see that huge reversal and we do something really weird and just flip bearish and close, right? But built around this news right now and around Trump's exact statement as well on gold, okay? Specifically as well on, and this is kind of important, right? Specifically on his tweet, or how do you call this? The platform that he posts his messages, Truth Social, okay? I don't think it's something that he could then just suddenly turn around right now, okay? It is posted right now. I don't think that if he posts this on Truth Social now, I mean, you never know, right? But it doesn't seem to me that that much accumulation of positive news here is suddenly going to flip bearish. It's suddenly going to turn gold around here. I personally don't see that, even though I'm always skeptical, by the way. I'm skeptical by nature when I read that news, but I don't necessarily believe that this is this time the case, though, okay? Yeah. So yeah, let's see what happens, man. We have the New York Stock Exchange. We're definitely going to wait to see how that opens up and see what the reaction will be on gold from that moment onwards, okay? But yeah, anyways, if this is true and it ends we actually end the weekend or the week like that, then obviously that's positive news. That's confirmed, right? A de-escalation in terms of the war, and that's exactly what I think most people want as well here. Most people want a de-escalation, and when I say most people, not everyone wants that, by the way, just so you know. Most people do, though. All right, we see some pullback. We are 15 minutes away, I think. 12 minutes away from the New York Open. New York Stock Exchange Open. So, hey, it's massive. Oil doesn't care. Sorry, the dollar doesn't really care. The dollar and oil are pretty much the same chart right now. They look exactly the same. If you open a trade before, yeah, then the 5K is in my opinion worth to hold up to the 5K. So yeah, I agree. You can just see it from the, yeah, especially on the daily. Obviously, we really want to close. Well, at least above the 50, okay? At least above the 50. Because that allows us to potentially then set on a Monday a bottom here. But it's just, what are those who aren't in the trade on gold or oil supposed to do now? Yeah, the pullback. I would be very careful with predicting the top. So the pullback is the only option, I guess. And Q. Yeah. Look at the NQ. Woo. What are we seeing here, guys? Back to the all-time highs. Wow. How is that even possible? Beautiful. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, previous daily high is gone. This is the top. The 63 is a level. Very aggressive though, right before the New York Stock Exchange open. Yeah, I'm gonna stick at the 30 here. Right now I'm gonna stick at the 30. Maybe the 45, maybe the 45 here. Because we know how important this level is. It's pretty much the level where we couldn't break above for a long time today and yesterday. Yeah, so this is the area where a lot of buyers stepped in here. So there could be a lot of support as well right now around, yeah, the 65, which is pretty much that red line that you see here. We should see a reaction from this. There is no possible analysis during those big news breakouts. I mean, unless you want to be very aggressive and unless you want to enter on like yeah, any pullback, any level right away, then that's the only way. Unless it's a pullback, a proper pullback, which allows us to get back to our regular setups here. But keep in mind, this doesn't happen a lot, right? This is not necessarily a common theme. It happens already more than usual, but it's still very rare that we see things like this here. All right, especially when we see 4 different news events in a row. Okay. Another one just came in. Another one. That's number 5. Number one. Number two. So the first news came out. At 8:25, sorry, 8:25 EST, right? Then 8:45 we saw news coming out. Then 8:56. And now, then at 9:07. And now at 9:20 again. New news, new important news here. The US short-term interest rates futures rise. Traders price a rising chance of a federal rate cut in 2026. So every news that comes in is just another catalyst. Another catalyst. If this remains stable, okay, if this news, and this is the most important thing that you should think about right now, okay? If this news remains stable over the weekend, and let's say on a Monday, right, and we don't see any weird news articles coming out or, you know, weird live streams from Trump, or we see anything else, if this is stable and it actually is confirmed that this is true and it stays this way, we're going to have an incredible trading week next week. We're going to have a really good trading week next week, okay? I can guarantee you that. I've seen this before. When gold gets back to its like old rhythm, it's gonna be gorgeous. It's gonna be fantastic. So let's hope that this news is true and we stay there. John says, this kind of news should be compared to manipulation. No technical analysis can predict such news-driven moves. Yes. Well, there were some couple things on the footprint though, which are very cool, very interesting, and that's exactly this: the amount of sellers and then the closure above and the retest. So it's pretty good, but no, again, it's true. So what are the levels now? We have the swing profile right here at the swing point of control at the 64. Okay, this is futures. Take that in consideration. So this is 64. And then we have a level at the 45. 45, okay. And then we have our level at the 30s. So these are our three levels: 60 through the 45 and the 30s. An overall fantastic way of understanding how news reacts, how it impacts the dollar, how it impacts oil, and how that then positively impacts gold, how it positively impacts the euro. Look at the euro, major push on the euro, by the way, the euro USD here. Look at that. Of course, when the dollar tanks, the correlation is so high with the euro, it's very strong for the euro. All right, very good for the euro as well here. The dollar devalues, it benefits the euro because out of the dollar index, right, we have a 51% basket of the euro. All right, so the correlation is very strong between the euro and between the dollar, so that's good for the euro. Now, if that's good for the euro, okay, and it's bad for the dollar, it is also tends to be bad for the 10-year yield, okay, the government bonds. This allows people and this allows traders and investors to think, hey, if this ceasefire right now, and all the investment banks are going to talk about this, right, with their clients, hey, the ceasefire is over, okay, great, let's sell some of our bonds that we've bought to stay safe, our security bonds, right, where we can get a yield on of 4.3%, right, quote unquote. And let's put it back into the stock market. Let's put it back into the risk on assets, the gold, the metal sector, the stock market, the equities, etc. Right? Bitcoin. This is why we're seeing the huge drop. It is all connected with each other. So the more you see this, and a news event like this can really elevate your trading from that understanding, right? Because the correlation is a big part of the system, of the strategy that we trade every day. And therefore, by understanding how these things move and how these things move against each other, you can use other charts to understand what gold is doing and when you should be looking for longs and shorts with more conviction, more confidence. Right? And this is why I actually built an indicator for that as well, to confirm if we're overvalued or we're undervalued. But of course, when there is so much news, you can stay overvalued for a while, right? This is just because it's all news driven right now. But once we're below, okay, once we're back to an undervaluation and the news is very bullish, that's the sign to say, hey, we might find that bottom and we might look for longs right away. So I'm still waiting and patiently waiting, because if we're getting to an undervaluation here, it might be the right moment, right? It might be the right moment to start deploying some capital, for example. So I still want to give it some time here. Bradley Taylor, I'm from Australia. Stay up late every night for you, mate. Thank you, man. What time is it right now? It's probably already 11 right now, or 12. You are by far the most honest and respectful trader towards your fans and community, and I've come across. Appreciate this all. Thank you, man, Bradley. You're a legend. Thank you for your message, man. Appreciate that. And guys, if you guys are learning, even when the market is going absolutely bananas right now, if you're learning, okay, then smash up that like button for me. This really helps my channel grow, right? It really does. And I'm doing this for free on a daily basis here. I have nothing really to sell you. Yes, I do a 15 group mentorship once in a while where I onboard 15 people and I trade with them over the course of 6 weeks, teaching my exact trading system. It's only for the guys that are really committed. We opened up, we had 200 applications. And honestly, to be really honest with you, to be quite frank, I only hired one person. That's so awkward. I only hired one person to go through it, okay, through the application. And obviously, it's 200 applications. So we're still going through this right now to fill the spots. We're very, very close to being full here. So if you are really committed and we haven't come back to you yet for the application process, yeah, then send me an email at hello@lorenzocrowder.com, hello@lorenzocrowder.com, or what was it again? Sorry, Lorenzo@ltaconcepts.io. Okay, send me a message. I read these messages and I can prioritize your application, because otherwise it's not possible here. Okay, so that's the only thing that I do. I onboard 15 people and I work with them one-on-one. I'm teaching them the system. I give them my tools, access to the software and everything. And that's how we make sure that we'll build their accounts up, right? We are just doing exactly what we're saying we're doing. We're trading on a daily basis here. We're making sure that we're actually making money. And for the rest, people that are not interested in this right here because trading is just a hobby for them, whatever, I'm here every day for you, okay? Every single day, 5 days a week, I'm here for you. Trading the New York session and talking about the market and executing trades when they pop up, when they're according to our system, apply perfectly with what we're looking for, okay? So if you like that free education, regardless, then smashing up that like button to me will be a fantastic gift. And I really appreciate your time, because I know time is money, time is value. So you're spending your time and energy to watch the streams is already a blessing, okay? All right, so show me, baby. More news? More news! I was joking, by the way, when I said it. I was joking. I was joking. But it was not. I was not joking. Apparently, it's really true. We have more news right now. What an event, man. What a session today. Sorry, guys, but like... Wait. Are you serious right now? Do you read what I'm reading? US official. The US military blockade of Iran remains in effect. Okay, Trump on Iran. Naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran. only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. Okay, it's not too bad. All right, so there is still like a, you know, we still have that filter. We still have the threshold. We're not fully there yet, okay? All right, I thought this is gonna be interesting, but okay, it's not too bad. They want to make sure that the transaction is 100% completed, and then they will remove, right? That their military. Okay. I was like, no way that this guy turns everything around now. I almost couldn't believe it, but okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. Is it also possible to come on a waiting list for the next 15? Potentially, yes, but not for now. But yes, potentially. But it will take a month, at least a month for the next one. I'm only doing it once a month or once every 6 weeks. And my dream, okay, I'll tell you what my dream is. My dream is to give live events. That's my dream here. This, all the live streams right now, it's all a pre, okay, before an actual live event. Imagine this. Imagine doing this live trading stream, live, in person. Think about that. For a whole week, every day. Think about that. How awesome would that be? That's one example. That would be so nice. Now, my goal is definitely to go into to do things in person in the future. That's definitely what I'm working towards too. Okay, we're finding a bit support here. It's not really a surprise. We're seeing this aggressive selling right there and a lot of aggressive buying. So we could still find some support now. Where is the 15 minutes? Sorry. Man, I just need to higher the tick size because we're filtering. We have so much volume. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, we could definitely still get to the 65 first, and then the 45, and then the 30. But like right now, we're still looking very strong here. Boris says, Lorenzo, I'm here every day, and I'm 100% focused on perfecting my craft in trading. I have, is there a way to make sure I get on that 50 people list? I have not received an email yet that I was picked. Yeah, then please send me a message, send an email to hello@lorenzocorrado.com. So just hello@lorenzocorrado.com or lorenzo@ltconcepts.io. Because there are just too many applications. We are just unable right now with the manpower that we have to, and that's my mistake because I didn't expect so many applications. I really didn't. Yeah, okay. Now we're slowing down a little bit. That's not really a surprise because we're seeing a lot more sellers coming in right now, right here. So this is kind of the moment of truth. Because if we're seeing the rejection here, yeah, then I actually believe that we most likely will cool off a little bit and come deeper into the lows right here, which we want actually. And yeah, I mean, that means that sellers are trying to pull back price a bit now. And I think that makes sense because we kind of now see as well that news from Trump, right? That latest news that came out right now, right? Most of the points are already negotiated, well, that's positive. But here he said, the US official said, US military blockade of Iran remains in effect, right? Until 100% of the transactions are completed. So this is right now, and guess what? We are now slowing down a little bit as well with gold. And this just proves one more time right now that it's all news driven at the moment. It's just all news driven. Would I short it? I would not short it. Like, I'm not saying that you should not short it, but like, Lorenzo, what did you target for buying similar pullbacks like these, with these aggressive moves? What you target? That's a good question. Higher time frame, especially on these one, higher time frame supply zones. Okay, higher time frame supply zones. So this is a supply zone right here on the footprint chart. This is actual real supply right there, and it looks like this on the candlesticks right here. It actually looks like this, and the funny thing is, sometimes in the footprint chart, you can actually, you think on the candlestick chart that this is a supply zone, which it actually is in this case. But in reality, it sometimes shows a lot less volume and just not much happening there, right? So that's actually in the zone that could get broken easier. So this is why that footprint chart is so hard, because you can confirm if a supply zone is a real zone in the footprint chart. So the 5,000 right there is a real zone, a real serious supply zone right there, okay? Yeah. So yeah, that would be an amazing target, by the way, right? Let's be honest, that would be an incredible target, getting towards the 5,000 in this case. Because we broke major higher time frame support, resistance right now. In the end, it's all about the closure. It's all about the actual closure of the candle. We all know that, but yeah. Yeah, I actually have to put this on 60 right now. Okay, we have a really beautiful zone at 50, okay? I think that 50 is a very clean zone. Now I'm looking at it right here. It's where all these buyers came in. The 27 is well another level below that. The 50 is definitely a good level to work with. In case we want to get there, I think it's totally possible. Actually, it's actually 51, by the way. It's actually 51. 51, and then yeah. Something like that. Right now, these levels that we're looking at are, for me, yeah, this is a beautiful level. Beautiful level. But yeah, it's all news driven. It's very hard for me to get involved here. Luckily, for us, or for me, you know, this doesn't really happen a lot. So it actually is a really good confirmation, right? This means much more to me than just trading right now. Okay, because I know now if this is confirmed that this is all true and this is actually something that is just a real news, real confirmation, then to me this is much more important, because that means that next week will be a very clean week, usually a week where My bias is very, very clear. I can look for the right pullbacks. I can look for the right entries. And I can simply just keep trading it that way, right? And just literally try to get involved into my setups next week and just consistently grind this way. And just keep going. Just keep going. And this stream like today, for example, is just a great confirmation that if this is real, that next week will be an amazing week for us. So yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's looking quite good though right now. Not gonna lie here. So what do you think about the dollar index weekly and daily demand zones? Yeah, we are indeed getting there. We are indeed getting there. But as well, if we close this candle daily, if we close this candle bearish, okay, on the daily, like if it's a fake move, in my opinion, what needs to happen on the dollar needs to flip bullish immediately today. In the next 9 hours, it needs to flip bullish. Because if it doesn't, this is a supply zone right here. So yeah, you can tap into higher time frame demand, but we also will have a new supply zone here as well. Right, and you could easily see something like this. Just continue to sell off deeper into that zone. So if this closes like that, I think it's still bearish, very bearish. So I'm not really too worried about that at the moment. But the closure will help us tremendously, okay? The daily closure today, the weekly closure actually, will help us tremendously with that understanding here. But yeah. My stop loss, yeah, it's like at below that next zone that we talked about. So it's it's actually a bit no, it's actually perfect. For me, it's at the 15.5, but it could change over time. Let's see if we can pull back. But that's the setup for me here. If we now continue to go up, then yeah. I'll take this as a beautiful day today regardless, because it helps me tremendously for the next days. And also from a perspective of our bias and the higher time frame confirmation that we broke out, we closed above the daily higher time frame resistance, allowing us to go potentially clean towards the 5,000, which I think is a beautiful target. But honestly, guys, since when have we seen these so many events in one session? I don't think we have ever seen this. All right, there we go. This is an update. The Strait of Hormuz is completely open and ready for business and full passage. But the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran. Only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. This process should go very quickly, in that most of the points are already negotiated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Pretty much what we just talked about, but from the man himself. All right, we're getting, what I like already is that we're getting already to that undervaluation on the on the 5-minute time frame. And on the 15-minute, where are we? Okay, we're most likely going to get to the equilibrium. So again, on the 15-minute, we were overvalued right around there. We stayed there for a little bit. And the moment we broke down, that's the moment when we started to come down here. You see that? So the moment we actually broke below that level, right here. So usually you wait for the break below again, or you wait for the break above again, and then it kind of shows the top here short term usually. But yeah, it's just so strong. I know, so just a question. Why don't you only wait for the reaction where now the buy limit is, and then wait for the reclaim of the swing POC, and then if it bounces, you can place a stop loss below. You know what I actually want is I want to get, this is a typical setup that we have seen this before. It's a good question, but this is a setup that I like to trade, that I found out, which I really like, is that usually, right, when we talk about our key level, like the 63 and stuff, in this case, the point of control, what I notice is that many times when you come down or you come up and you tap into a level like that, sometimes it gets and it creates a wick and then it closes above it, right? So imagine if you create a wick and you actually close above it, right? You get in on the wick and you close above it. That's golden. That's like the best, the cleanest setup that you can get. And we have seen this on a Monday, for example. We did this on a Monday. And we actually did this yesterday too. If you paid attention to yesterday's trade, we did this on a Monday and we did this yesterday. And in both instances, we got filled at the bottom. And yeah, it's something that we have been doing, and it has been working really well. And it allows us to manage the trade really, really clean, really quickly. How did you draw your swing profile? From the bottom to the top, pretty much, right? From the bottom to the top. But keep in mind, if you trade gold spot, it might be a little bit different for you. Could be. You see it's lower, right? I think in your case, it's similar to the... yeah, the reason why is because the volume is differently distributed. Let's see an Owanda here. On the CFDs, it usually works really similar. Okay, look, this is the, no, it's pretty much the same one, right? It's pretty much the same level on Owanda, sorry. So Owanda is actually pretty good. That's what I noticed, that Owanda is actually the one that is the most accurate on the volume profile if you use the gold spot. But in essence, the futures chart is still that chart that I really like to utilize, even though it's thick volume on TradingView, it's still so accurate. But in the case of Owanda, it is the same. It's pretty much the same. Yeah. Keep in mind, I have managed my risk here in case we do pull back and we get filled, right? I do have to say that the risk is the most important part right now. When it's news related, don't go full margin. But it's just holding up really well right now. Like we don't even know we're gonna come back with this news right now. So we need to give it a bit more time. I'm gonna not give it too much time. But what a fantastic lesson. What a news, Chiefs. I hope you guys are enjoying it though, because it's super cool, super interesting to watch and witness right now, just in general. My goal is to be here every single day. If you don't know me, my name is Lorenzo Corrado. If you just tuned in for the first time, we usually trade here live every day. New York session at 8 a.m. Today, of course, we're dealing with a lot of news here. So I do have a buy limit placed at the 51 on the future chart on gold. That's roughly speaking like the 20. Sorry, what is this? That is roughly speaking the 30 or the 29 on gold spot. But we trade it on a daily basis here, and we'll make sure that you guys are always updated about what's going on, regardless from the higher time frame to the lower time frame, the dollar, how does it impact gold. And I've also downloaded or created or written actually a book for you right here. It is called the LTA Concepts Trading War Map. All right, this is what it contains right here. Look at that. You have your volume analysis, your macro analysis and sentiment, seasonality, supply and demand, the execution framework, risk and money management, trading psychology, and your behavioral edge, and then proven data and real trades right there. Okay? So this is a whole book that I've created and written for you. I'm looking forward to do this in a hard copy later on right here as well, by the way. It looks like this. It's very, very nice. Very thick book, okay? And it's the first book that I've written in my life. And, you know, me and my team worked on that, and we did our absolute best here at the time to make it amazing. And it's completely free of charge. It allows you to understand what my system is like, roughly speaking. It's not the exact trading system that I trade here. It's a variation that stems from that. But it's pretty much what I studied. It's my experience, the things that I studied in the markets and the conclusions that I came through. So if you're interested in learning about this, you can go and click on the link in the chat, fill in your email and get this book right there, okay? So if you like that free content, the free streams where we go over this on a daily basis here, where we cover the news as well as trade when we need to see a good setup here, then help me smashing up that like button. I want to see that like button getting smashed, guys. Sometimes I'm like, man, how is it possible when we have like 1,500 people watching on average? You know what I mean? And we only get like, you know, 500 likes, for example, right? Like, I'm like, is it so hard to just press that button if you appreciate the content and just like smash up that like button, right? I know you're laying your bed and it's like, oh, you have to move your left thumb and just click on that thing, and you help me out tremendously for that free juice. You know what I mean? It's so important. It's just how this YouTube thing works, man. That's why you see me asking for it all the time, because I just know otherwise it just, you know, it needs to be trained, instilled. It's just what it is. Sorry for that, right? But it is what it is. It is what it is. But we have an amazing community now. What we've been able to build right now in the last, I would say, 28 streams is unbelievable. I'm super grateful for that. And you know what the thing is? Yesterday we did a giveaway, and I said, you know, like my channel, like my video, you know? How many likes did we got yesterday on yesterday's stream? What do you think? 800. Oh, so then you want to like the video, right? Then you want to like the stream, right? When we give away a FundedNext challenge. Ah, I see. I get it. No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay. Did the war end? I hope so, man. I really, really hope so. It will save a lot of misery. Number one. It will save a lot of misery. It will be better for the economy. Number two. And third of all, it will be good for us as traders. For gold especially. Okay? It will be good for gold. For us. A normal market. Like the fact that we have been profitable in times like these is already a miracle. And that is just good management, knowing when to get in, not being too, you know, being very precise. But when this market condition shifts a bit and it gets back to its like old movement, I can be more aggressive, actually. I can be a bit more aggressive in my entries. And also with my management, you know? So I can't wait for that. Yeah. Broccoli says, keep reminding us of some memory of a fish speaking about myself. Let's smash up that like. All right. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. So gold is still pushing up. We had a small pullback already around the 674. We're getting undervalued. So you know what that means? This means that we're so freaking bullish right now on gold, man. We really, really are bullish here. I doubt we're going to pull back here. I would not doubt that we're going to pull back. But if we're going to pull back, most likely will be a sharp push down. But right now, I think that if we can see something like this right now, and we're seeing an undervaluation while we're trending upwards, that's one of the most bullish signals that I've seen. We haven't seen this in a while here. And I think a lot of you guys have know exactly what I'm talking about when I speak about an undervaluation in an uptrend. That's just very, very, very strong. So from a trading perspective, I doubt, to be honest, that we will be able to catch the trade today. I'm going to see what happens around the 51.8 today. I'm going to leave this running. But I think that overall, this stream was more meant, unexpectedly, by the way, because we didn't expect this to happen, right? With the news and stuff. And all these events after another, one after another, okay? That we, saw that push up here overall. Now, I do think this was amazing for the stream to understand now. And what we really want to see is the following. Because I'm going to lead you through this right now. And I think we're going to just end the stream from there because it sets a really good foundation for next week, okay? And I think that next week we can absolutely crush this. Okay. And that is the following. All right. I'm going to keep my limit order open, number one. I'm going to keep my limit order open for now. Okay. So that is not really going to change. I will show as well the levels on gold spot in a second, in case you want to know that. But if we can close above, and this is the most important chart right now on the footprint chart, it's this level of resistance right there. A lot of sellers to control here in this daily candle. We never were able to break above that. This is what we call daily resistance. If we now manage to close above that, okay, above the 4889 or the 4850 at least, okay, then I do believe that we have a big chance of holding support and then trading towards the 5000. I really believe so. So it all depends on how we close today's, specifically today's daily candle. Because if we manage to pull back, right, and this is also where my entry is, by the way. It's right in this area, okay? It's right in this zone right here. I will highlight this for you on the daily time frame. But it's also a daily support, by the way, okay? This is why I maintain my limit order there. And also, maybe even in the weekend. Maybe even in the weekend. If we close strong, I keep my limit order at the 4850 and I'll hold it throughout the weekend. I think I will do that. I will give it a try at least, okay? Maybe I set my stop loss a bit bigger, but I keep my trade at that level because of the daily level as well here, in case we do pull back. But it all depends on where we close this daily candle, because if we close above the 50 and we hold up steadily, I think our next zone is there. It's the 5,000, okay? And I hope that we can trade towards the 5,000 from that perspective and get towards that supply zone that you see right there. So we have the daily support right here, okay? If we can close above the 50, it's a spot roughly speaking there, then I think that we could just find our way towards the 5,000, okay? That's something that I would love to trade. I think that's gonna be an incredible push. It's still far away. It's a large move, right? It's around what? How many pips is this? 14,000 pips, correct? Yeah, pretty much, right? So from that perspective, am I wrong or am I right? Yeah, 1,400 pips away from that target right there. So that is an incredible push still to go if we can pull back here, and it can give us a lot of bread if you trade this correctly. Okay, so I think at some point we will have to pull back. There is no doubt that we should be pulling back already very soon. But right now at the moment, it all depends on where we close that candle here. And if we don't randomly just do something extremely weird in the next 3 hours and just absolutely tank and break structure. Like, unless that happens, and then in the weekend there is like, oh yeah, sorry, but it didn't continue because Iran did this or Iran did that, right? And it's invalidated again. We're back at square one, and we start trading the exact same way as how we traded the whole week, or the last week as well, which is still profitable. But obviously everyone prefers, including myself, to trade the momentum, okay, and not a range. We love to trade the momentum because the momentum is where the money is made. The real money is made. It's where you can hold on to your positions longer, where you can get into good entries and just hold on to them and reach beautiful targets, okay? But that is the overall conclusion of what we're looking for, if indeed this comes to fruition. As well for the dollar, okay? It's very important that we do not come back. We really want to close up below the 98 on the TVC chart right here, okay? So we have that clean resistance as well for the dollar. So we could see something like this, right? Pretty much a continuation play for the dollar as well, which will actually enforce this gold to push up higher as well, which we really want to see here. This also counts for oil right there, all right? Look at oil right there. You can see this very clearly. Oil, daily supply right there, daily supply right there. New supply zones are getting created on oil right now, okay? Take that in consideration. So if this daily candle closes bearish and we pull back and we get rejected here, guys, then this is also, again, good for gold right here, okay? This is good for gold. If we see something like this, or even like this, we'll pull back down, right? Even if we come up higher and we pull back down, right? It's still gonna be good for gold in the medium to long term from now, okay? So this closure today, this weekly candle closure, will absolutely determine where we will be heading over the next coming days ahead of us right there, okay? So we're living in interesting times right now. I love to see what will happen around here, okay? Can we pull back? But I don't think I want to wait for this right now. It could still take a while. We could still find that support. But I think today's session was an extremely important session to learn about what's happening with the news here. And hopefully, the war will actually end here, all right? The Strait of Hormuz will be opened. And all that shit is out of the way, at least in the short term right now, so we can finally focus on normal market behavior, regular structure, and just get back into our old habits right around there, okay? That's something that we want to see here. Now, the last thing that I wanted to say was, if this is the case, and we're going to see something like this right here, okay? Then you know what we're going to do. I'm going to start a challenge on FundedNext, like I said before here. I usually don't really do this because, you know, I already have 450K in funding on Top Step. I have a personal account I trade on all the time. you know, I'm already kind of making the money, making the bread. This is why I'm doing this live, okay? I am going to start a challenge on FundedNext to prove, okay, let's get a funded account, let's get a challenge account, let's pass this account on stream, and let's make it happen here, okay? FundedNext are now partners of me. Finally, I was looking for a sponsor. They reached out to me. They're one of the best, one of the biggest. The big guys promote them too. So I kind of trust FundedNext. I've spoken to them. So the ideal situation would be you buy a challenge, right? Regardless, you learn how to trade it. If you're confused about futures or spot, okay, you can also get a futures challenge. You can get a 7% discount on your CFD and a 5% discount on your futures challenge, okay, if you type in the code Lorenzo. So you go to the FundedNext website, you choose the rapid challenge. It's called a rapid challenge. Allows you to pass it quickly. That's the challenge that I'm going to use. That's the challenge I'm going to buy. And we might pass it on stream, okay? So it's a great way to test it together. If you're interested in doing the same, no, use that. Use that challenge. Let's test some things out together, and let's see how this system actually unfolds over the next coming weeks ahead of us, all right? The actual gold hybrid trading system that we have been talking about over time here, okay? Let's make it happen. I'm going to wish you a fantastic weekend. You know where my buy limits are. You know the reasons behind everything here. I think it was a good week. I must say I really enjoyed this week so far. We managed to make money, number one, okay? We had a winning trade. We had 2 winning trades with 1 loss, 1 no trading day on the streams. And then outside of the streams, I had a pretty good overall structure, overall session as well here on the Asian session. So overall, it was a good week. I think that with this news confirmed, it will be a better week next week, to be honest. I really believe that. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. If you are still currently at your work right now, okay, I wish you the best on your working day today here. It's almost weekend. Enjoy your final day of work and then enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if this is true, then be freaking sharp. Be freaking sharp for tomorrow, for Monday, okay? Get back on track here, 8 a.m. EST. Come back to the stream at 8 a.m. Make sure that you're sharp, that you're ready, that you're fresh. And then we'll get back to work. All right? Thank you, guys. You guys are the best, man. Smash up the like button one more time. I'll see you next week. Let's hope it's towards everything. Back to normal training. Please. Let's do that. Thank you guys very much. Peace out. Much love, fam. Much love. See you Monday, yeah? Stay sharp, stay healthy, and I wish you a good weekend.